Oh my. Well, you know what? I'm going to take a shower and I'm going to cool off. So, no. You need to wait right there. I'll be back. Hello, truckers, drivers, and adventurers. I am the Killer Trucker in training. We are continuing with week number 3, and this happens to be day number 2, a Tuesday. Thank goodness we still have 3 more days left, because I can use all the practice I can get when it comes to those skills. And I've showered, I'm cooled off, because it was really hot today. According to the weather, it was actually nice throughout the morning, but in the afternoon it got hot. It was the weather said 106, and of course we're standing on asphalt, so it's even hotter. And we're outside. Things are a little bit different today, and I'll explain that. But we were basically outside switching off in trucks and practicing our backing skills. The straight back or straight line back, or I can't seem to remember now, my brain's fried. Offset left, and also parallel parking. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on today. Oh, by the way, I've worn this shirt several times and never really commented about it, but this is Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise, the prequel. Discovery, no, I don't count that. The real prequel to the original series, featuring Scott Bakula, Mr. Quantum Leap. I liked Enterprise. I don't know how many of you are fans of Enterprise with Scott Bakula. I liked the cast. I liked the crew. I thought it was more down to earth and more. The way they talk and the way they act was a little bit more closer to our timeline, so it was much more relatable. But I enjoyed the show, and I'm sad that it got canceled during the 4th year, because it started getting really good in the 4th year, and it would have gotten even better because they were going to be doing the Federation Romulan War, and then it would have led into the founding of the Federation. So it's a shame that they didn't continue, that it wound up getting canceled. So, network, you suck! I guess there's books, right? And our imagination. Anyway, let's talk about what happened today. So, what do we do to start off with? Come on. Coupling the trailer to the tractor, or the tractor to the trailer, whatever you want to say. What's involved with that, you might be wondering. Okay, well, let me kind of explain it to you. What we need to do is we need to we have to unchock the wheel. They have a chock there for safety. But we need to start up the truck, build up air pressure, so that way, we can set so that way we get air brakes. I mean, that's kind of important, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be stopping. We build up air pressure. We go ahead and we back up that tractor, and it gets close to the trailer. All right, so this is the trailer here. This is the trailer. This is the tractor. So it comes real close like this. All right, and we have people outside that are helping. And what you have to do is you have to flick a button on the dash that lowers the 5th wheel assembly, or the skid plate, so that way it comes down like this, and then we back it underneath and then raise it up. It's not hooked up yet, but you raise it up so that way it's touching the bottom of the trailer, basically no gap. There shouldn't be any gap. And then you back it up just a little bit more and snap the kingpin, which is kind of like this little thing. It snaps into place, and these locking jaws come around it, and it snaps into place. And then what we need to do is we need to do a tug test on it. So we do just a gentle little tug forward. I swear, I think someone's knocking on the door. I don't know why. I'm not expecting anyone. So we do a tug test just to make sure that it's actually coupled. And today was a prime example of something that didn't couple right, because we thought it hooked and it didn't hook. And there's a release lever. There's a fifth wheel release lever on the other side. And when it locks into place, that release lever will snap in. Because what you have to do, in order to release it, you have to pull it and in order to uncouple. But this should snap in. But the thing is, when we did it, it did not go in. And so when he did the tug test, it just came right out. So he had to redo it again, and then it finally locked into position. Once it's locked into position, you go ahead, you set your parking brake. You have to hook up your cables. There's like 3 cables that you hook from the tractor to the trailer. 2 of them are air hoses and 1 of them is electrical. The electrical one is typically green, at least for us, it's green. That supplies power, is what that does. Then there is a service line, which is blue, and an emergency line, which is red. And you hook them up. They're called glad hands because when you put them together, it's kind of like this. But yeah, you hook those on there, and once they're hooked, now you've got air that's running to your tractor, and you can set your tractor brake. But once you've got those hooked up, then someone can go over to where the landing gear is at. No, this is not Flight Simulator. Okay, this is not Flight Simulator. The things just don't go up on its own, like a flick of a button. And that'd be kind of nice, but no, they don't do that. So someone has to go over to the landing gear for the trailer. If it didn't have a landing gear, it would go boof, which is why you don't raise the landing gear until you've done that tug test. Because if the landing gear had been raised, and like what happened earlier when we were doing the tug test and it came loose, that trailer would have been boof. It would have fell. But yeah, once you know that you tugged it and it's connected, you're not going to lose it. Then you go over to the side where the crank is at, and you're raising up that landing gear, and I almost made myself dizzy. Then you take the handle and you stow it. You kind of hooks off to the side, something like that. That's it. That's pretty much it. And you set your trailer brake, because now you've got air supplying to the thing, and you're good to go. Turn it off, do your pre-trip. And that's what we do next. We do the pre-trip inspection. And I've kind of gone over that on some of the episodes in regards to what we're doing. How do you study the pre-trip? It's a great question. What I did is I found something online. I think it was from the Truckers Truth Forum, and they have a whole bunch of pictures, study pictures for the pre-trip. And what I did is I took all the individual pictures, and then I erased all the information, so that way it was just the picture, and then saved it as a new file. And then what I would do is I would go and look at the picture that didn't have any information, name off everything that I need to do, and then look at the original picture to see if I got it right. Then I would go to the next one, and I would do like 10 a day. Or I would do 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening. Depends upon if I'm getting it. So I'll do 10, let's just say I'll do 10 one day, study it, make sure I got it. Then the next day, I'll redo the 10 again, and then I'll add 10 more. And then the next day, I go through those 20 that I've already studied, and then I add 10 more. And I keep doing that until until I got everything. That is the study technique that I used when I don't think I ever mentioned this on the channel before, but there was a time when I was studying to become a nurse. And I got on the waiting list. And I even got approved to go to nursing school. And at that moment, it took about a year and a half, but at that moment, something just didn't feel right. Something about nursing just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like the right fit for me. And with the pandemic and everything that's going on, I guess maybe that feeling was warranted. Of course, this was way before the pandemic, but I don't know. It just, something about it just, it didn't fit. It didn't fit right. And plus, I had a really good job at the time, and I didn't want to give it up. But the job gave me up, so that's why I'm going into trucking. So yeah, that's pretty much how I studied the pre-trip. I'm trying to do a little bit on each episode. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover the whole thing, because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about in this series. But I will try to do what I can. So, continuing on with what happened today, what we usually do is one person will do the pre-trip, and the others will watch and correct if necessary. And so today was my time to do the pre-trip. And there was a few wording things that I didn't get correct, but for the most part, as far as everyone was concerned, I passed. And the air brake test, there's like 5 steps of the air brake test. That's like a whole nother episode. But one of the things that we have to test is air leakage. That's like the very first thing. So you get in there, you push down on the service brake, or what most people would call the brake pedal, but it's called a service brake. You press down on that, and you watch your air gauge and you time it for 60 seconds, and you make sure that does not go down more than 4 psi in 1 minute. If it does, you've got a leakage problem. You're going to wind up leaking more air than what the governor, and I don't mean a politician, it's called a governor, which determines when it pumps air into the system. It's not going to be able to keep up. It's going to leak more than what air it can produce. Well, the funny thing is that when I was doing that test, I had the truck on because I was building pressure and everything, and I was going ahead and doing the air leakage test, and I'm looking at the gauge because I pressed down on the brake and it had gone down just a little bit, and I said, okay, start the timer. And I'm looking at it, and the air pressure is going up. And I'm thinking, okay, something's not right. And then I'm like, I need to turn this vehicle off. And the instructor was like, so this is the point where you tell your examiner, I would like to restart my air brake test. Oh, geez Louise. There's always something with me, right? Oh, wait, it gets better. Anyway, did the whole air brake test, got all the way through, and the instructor and plus the other people in my group said, hey, you got this down. You definitely passed that. And I'm not really worried about the pre-trip, to be honest with you, because all it is studying. I can do that. Just studying and memorization, that's all in the book. I can do that. What is challenging for me is actually studying something and applying it to the actual road, or in the real world, I guess you could say. Everyone else seems to be okay with that, but they're worried about the pre-trip. Here I am, I'm like, no, I'm good with the pre-trip, but I'm struggling with the skills a little bit. So, that's what we did. After the pre-trip, we started working on our skills, our backing skills. So I was the first one to go and do the skills, and I pulled the tractor forward. Basically what I had to do was, here is, we'll say this whole thing is the range, right? There's this track that goes around in a circle, and all the parking and stuff is here in the center. This is where everyone backs up and forward and does their stuff. So I had to take the tractor and trailer, bring it down, and then come around the track like this, and then pull in this way to get set up for my skill practicing. Well, when I was pulling out to get on that outer track to go around, I had a little bit of a problem with the right turn. I didn't turn wide enough. So I'm turning, and I'm keeping in mind the tractor, or the tandem wheels. They're the ones all the way in the back on the tractor. That's called the tandem. I'm turning, and I'm keeping an eye on that trailer, and there is this light post. Okay? Trailer's getting awfully close to it. And I'm like, okay, should clear. And then I hear this whistle blow. Hey! I'm like, I've stopped. They're like, you're about ready to hit that pole. I'm like, I'm looking. And apparently, well, they got me back safely around it. The lady was laughing. She got me around safely. I wound up running over 2 cones. But you know what? I don't feel so bad because someone else almost did it too. So he's actually in my group. I don't know. Must be a group thing. Anyway, apparently I'm not alone in it, so I feel a little better. Those right turns are very tricky. You've got to pull out far enough and then swing that tractor hard to the right, so that way the trailer doesn't run over a curb. But then you don't want to make sure that you don't wait too late, like in the case what I did. Because there was another time where I did skills, pulled the tractor out, and there is this chain fence. All right, there's like little poles and a chain that kind of goes along like this. And I was turning it, and I was a bit too close to it. I don't think I hit it, but on the dash, this big red flash came on, and it said collision warning. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't hit nothing. Which I don't believe I hit anything, but it was close. You want to make sure you turn. You don't want to turn too early, and you don't want to turn too late, because you don't want to hit a car or something that happens to be over there. So it's a little tricky. Once you do it a few times, it starts to click. But anyways, I went around. I did my skills. I had to pull forward. There, the little box of cones. I had to pull forward past it, and then do my straight line backing all the way back, past the cones, not into the box, but back before the box, and then pull straight forward up, I think, 140 feet, I think, up to this point here, and did my my offset backing, following the 5 steps that I'm supposed to follow. For some weird reason, when I get to that last step and it's like everything seems right, and then when I turn the wheel to get into the final position where I'm backing in, the trailer is all one way or the other, and I'm like, what the heck did I do wrong? It's like I followed all the steps, and then on the last one, something got all messed up. And so I'm trying to fix it by pulling up, giving myself a little space on one side or another, and what happens? I made it worse, is what happened. I made it worse. Now it's all over the place, and I'm trying to back it up, getting in the right spot. I ran over 2 cones. I'm not the killer trucker. I'm the killer gamer. That happens to be in a trucking school. That's why I say I'm the killer trucker in training. Maybe I should call myself the killer gamer in training to be a trucker. I don't know. That's too long. Anyway, yeah. Eventually, I got it into the box. What a freaking mess. And then I went and did the parallel parking. And I was able to do it. I did a pretty decent job. The trailer was a little crooked in the box, but it was in the box, and that's what counts. Yeah, I don't know what it is with the offset parking, going just from one lane to another lane. Sounds like it should be easy or simple, but I don't know. First, it's like I get the setup and everything the way it should be, and then something just doesn't go right on that last part, because when you do that final turn with your trailer backing up, you should be moving it right just like this, so that way you're just doing a straight line back. And for some reason my trailer is aiming this way or that way, and the cones are, yeah. For those of you who have gone through trucking school and have had to learn how to do offset backing, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's like you do everything that you're taught, and then for some reason, somewhere at the end, you're like, okay, what the heck did I do wrong? But then we had break, and then after that, it was just me and my instructor who went out on the road. And so we went ahead and it was a 13-mile drive. Part of it was on the interstate. He had me do the left and the right, and I did everything pretty much pretty well. I think it was, I guess if you were to score, it would have been like 95%. I did my turns well. I didn't run over any curbs this time. I did all my commentary, saying everything that I was seeing. There was even a part where there was a fire and I saw black smoke coming up. And I said, I noticed that there's a fire over there in the distance. There's a possibility that there might be some emergency vehicles up ahead that might be coming through. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. So I just explained everything that I saw and everything that I was thinking. Something, again, that's not hard for me to do. Why? Because I'm a gamer and I'm a streamer, and I've streamed for hours. There's actually some videos with Flight Simulator 2020 where I did some streams that were 9, 10, 11 hours long. And they are here on the channel. Killer Gamers Cross the World Tour, I think is what it's called. And we left off in, I can't remember now. I can't remember where we left off. It was somewhere around Thailand or something. And I hadn't been able to continue it because I wanted to do these long flights, so that way it wasn't a very, it wasn't like a 200 episode of series of trying to get around the world. I was doing long flights and doing some commentary, along the way with my viewers, keeping everyone engaged, talking about the cities and towns that we're going over, and going over fun facts and statistics and stuff of those cities and points of interest and all that. So yeah, doing commentary is not hard for me. Made it all the way back, and I asked my instructor, I said, how did I do? Would I have passed? And he said, yeah, you would have passed. One of the things that I needed to work on was, although I did my turns fine, you need to do your turns 5 to 7 miles per hour going through. So you need to be at that speed before you turn. I'm coming in and I'm slowing down, but it's around 10 miles per hour, and I'm still kind of trying to slow down. I'm trying to brake as I'm going into the turn. That was really the only thing that I really need to work on, is getting slowed down before I get to that intersection. So that way I'm making a nice smooth turn and then accelerating, instead of trying to slow down and then try to brake to 5 miles per hour as I'm turning. Yeah, so I'm still working on that. And then what did we do? For the rest of the day, I was with another instructor, and we were practicing skills the rest of the day. So I would go into a truck, do the skills, then I would get out, another person would go and do it, and then I would get back in the truck. So I think I did it about 4 times today. We're going to be doing this. It's going to be the same schedule Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you know what? I'm thankful for that, because I'm still trying to master these skills. It's like I said, I can memorize stuff. I can memorize it right where it needs to be done on paper. So like when it comes to the offset backing and the parallel parking, I can write it down on what the instructions are. I've got that. But translating that to the actual skill is like a whole nother thing. Because it's like, I don't know if it's one truck works differently than another or whatever the case is, but it's like you're trying to follow the instructions, and maybe the mirror is not quite adjusted the same as another truck, and so what worked on one, when you're like, oh yeah, I just need to wait until the trailer touches this, and it doesn't work on another one, and everything is off. Yeah. For those of you who are going through the training, you know what I'm talking about. You know what you need to do, but sometimes it just doesn't quite work out that way. And then when you go to fix it, it makes it worse. Although sometimes, you go to fix it and you get it right. So yeah, I'm good with continuing to practice, and practice. I think I might actually have the road skills down. I think I'm gonna do okay with that. It's the skill test, and you have to do these things in order. You have to pass the pre-trip before you can do the backing skills. You have to practice the backing skills before you get to the road test. So if you fail the pre-trip, you can't do the other two. You have to wait 48 hours and retest for the pre-trip. Once you pass that, then you can go to the roads or the backing skills. If you pass that, then you can go to the next one. If you fail the backing skills, then you have to wait 48 hours and retake it. Don't have to retake the pre-test, the pre-trip inspection. You don't have to retake that, but you do have to retake the skills, the backing skills, until you can move to. So it's basically three stages of the test. Stage 1, pre-test. You pass that, great. You go to the next stage, which is the backing skills. You don't pass, 48 hours, you can retest. In between, the instructors will work with you and make sure that you can get it down. Once you pass it, you're on to your road test. If you fail that one, once again, they'll work with you. 48 hours, you can retest on it. So it's a 3-step process. And then once you get that done, you've done it. You have passed, and you go to your local DMV, whether it's there where you're training or back at your home state. So that is pretty much it. Anyways, we will go ahead and end things right here. Wait, don't click away. Shame on you if you've been doing that. We don't do that here. You got to stay all the way through the episode, right? If you got to walk away and go get a drink, that's fine. Just keep it playing. Just keep it playing to the end. But hey, if you're new here, are you subscribed? How come? Why are you not subscribed? You got to subscribe. All right. Our community here is growing every day, little by little. All right. And we're getting there. The last I checked, we're getting close to 500. For a channel that's been around for 8 years, you'd think it'd be higher. I don't know why. I'm trying. But it's getting there, slowly but steady. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. You subscribe to KILR TV because you like what the channel has to offer and you want to see more. And I want to do more for you too. There's a lot of stuff here on the channel. I don't know, we're getting close to 2,000 some videos. 2,000 some videos. I only have 500 subscribers. Well, yeah, we're working on it, right? But yeah, you can be one of those subscribers way back when it was around 500, and who knows, maybe later it'll be 10,000, 20,000, who knows. But other than the subscribing, click that notification bell so you get notified of when a new video is uploaded to the channel, because you'll want to know that. There's going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to be uploaded. Well, I'm going to try. I got to work on stuff ahead of time for you folks, because things are going to be a little busy on the road, especially when I'm going through the training and the mentor program and stuff. But once I get my own truck, I'll have a little bit more freedom to be able to do stuff. And of course, another thing that helps is by clicking like. Hey, if you like the video, definitely click the thumbs up. It really helps. And leave comments. Leave comments. I love to hear from you folks. I love to get feedback. Let me know. Are you a trucker? Tell me how long have you been in the business? What are your experiences? What was it like when you went through training? Are you with Swift? Are you now going through Swift? Are you maybe going through another carrier? Have you thought about going with Swift? And we're just curious how the training was? Are you curious like I was and wondering if Swift has good training or not? I was wondering. This was not my first choice. I was going to go with another carrier. I honestly, I didn't think that Swift had really good training. Now that I'm in it, the training seems fine to me. It's just taken me a little bit, but I don't see any fault with the training at all. So I don't know. For people who are saying that Swift's training is bad, I don't know where they're coming from. Of course, I don't have anything to compare it with. I mean, an actual CDL school, I would expect that it probably would be a little bit better. But for someone who's never been in trucking before, that's completely new at this, the school seems fine. I mean, I'm building confidence in what I'm doing. So that's good, right? I don't know. I think it is. Also, there's social media. All those links are in the description. There's Twitter, there's Instagram. Hey, there's Twitch. I do live streams on Twitch. At the moment, I'm not doing any, but I hope to be doing something soon, especially with the i3 laptop that I've got. I just got to get a few things prepared with it. Not the simulator. I know, inside joke. Those that have been with me for a while get the joke. There's also Snapchat. I barely do anything with that, but hey, I might be doing more stuff with Snapchat, getting into the trucking and stuff, where I can do some fun pictures with Snapchat. So hey, follow me on Snapchat. Why not? That way you're following me, and it's all there when I start actually doing stuff with it. Same with Instagram. Instagram, I usually take pictures of stuff, and I haven't done anything for a while, but I usually just share some photos and stuff, things that are just kind of going on behind the scenes. Twitter is the important one. That one I use for official news and announcements. Let you know, hey, new videos being uploaded. Just for some reason, in case you don't get a notification from YouTube, I'll let folks know that, hey, not on every single video, but there are some videos where I'll upload and say, hey, new video's up, here it is, blah blah blah. Or if I'm about to go do a live stream, I'll give you all some forewarning on, hey, I'm planning to do a live stream today, or I'll be doing a live stream within the next hour. So be sure to follow me on Twitter. You can ignore all that other political garbage that's going on Twitter, because I get it. I don't like it either. But if anything, just follow me on Twitter so that way you can get those fun little tweets and stuff. Just announcements. I'll even retweet a few things that I think you might find interesting. Fun things. Anyways, thanks again so much for watching. I appreciate it. You're all just wonderful. You keep me going. You inspire me. And I'm looking forward to doing more of these videos and sharing my experience with you as someone who's fresh and going into trucking. I will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Have a killer awesome trucking day.